Happy Halloween and welcome to this week's episode of Gaming News at Noon with Salty and Boom. I am one of your hosts, MrBooMStickXL, and of course, I am with my awesome co-host, Salty from Saltiest Gaming. Salty, welcome, dude. It's Halloween. There are going to be a lot of tricks on today's show. Also, a lot of treats. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Happy Halloween, everybody. Enjoying the holiday season. It's finally cooling down in Arizona, enjoying the spooky festivities. Just had a Halloween party last night, enjoying seeing my kid dress up. She has red hair, and she went as Ariel, so it was awesome.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of the trick-or-treating festivities this evening as well. Before we get into the topics, which is what everyone showed up to, as everyone knows, I have been pushing breast cancer awareness on my channel for the month of October. And in July of 2018, an idea popped into my head regarding how my very small YouTube channel could potentially do something big for breast cancer awareness. Truthfully, this idea came to me when I was buying flowers for Josie's mom, who on May 1st of 2017, unfortunately lost her long battle with cancer. And being married to and growing up in the Spanish culture, we honor her mom each and every month by putting fresh flowers on an altar on the first of each and every month. So regardless of the channel size and, of course, getting the blessing of my wife, who is someone I confide in when making these big decisions like this, I took a chance and the community responded in a way that I wasn't expecting. The love, support, and donations to this cause have been nothing short of bringing me to tears. And I wanted and needed to tell the entire community, thank you. But understand, this thank you isn't just for the people who donated. This is for everyone who didn't change the channel when I talked about my personal life. Talking about my wife, her mom, my dad, and talking about the informational cancer articles that I would read prior to going into the gaming part of the show. I also appreciate UK Dazarus, who is in the chat, who also assisted me in promoting Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. And that is the organization that my wife and I chose to donate 50% of all YouTube earnings for the entire month of October. And as you may or may not know, today is a special show, not just because it's Halloween, but as a way to give back and express our gratitude for how the community responded. My wife surprised me on Monday, where she presented to me 4 $25 Xbox Live gift cards that I will be giving out on today's show. And basically all you need to do is put in a hashtag, tweet it on Twitter, and as soon as I'm ready to do that, I will give you the hashtag, and there's your chance to win. We wanted to give back. My wife especially, she has been at the forefront of this for many reasons. Of course, being personal because of her mom, but she has also been really taken aback by how the community has accepted me as someone that they trust and that they listen to. So big thank you to my wife, Josette, who is probably listening. I could not do this without her. And you know what? Let's move on to the fun part of the show, which is why everyone is here. And that, of course, is gaming. And that hobby is expensive. But if you're a Sony fan, and a lot of people that listen are, they're going to be giving its fan base great titles and making it very affordable starting November 1st for a ton of titles that are going to be under $20. And I want to read that list because it's quite impressive. First of all, it's Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, Until Dawn, Batman Arkham Knight, Need for Speed Rivals, EA Sports UFC 2, Need for Speed, Shadow of Mordor, Game of the Year Edition, Dying Light, The Following, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, Earth Defense Force 4.1, Mortal Kombat X, Injustice God Among Us Ultimate Edition, Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends, Battlefield Hardline, and Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, Salty, look, these may not be the top tier. They may not be the Red Dead Redemption 2 AAA games, but some of these lists for under some of these games on this list for under $20 is a big deal, and some fans might have, you know, passed them up because they didn't have the money. What are your take on these under $20 games that Sony's going to be putting out starting tomorrow?
There's some pretty good ones on this list, honestly, and surprisingly, the Plants vs Zombies game is kind of a surpriser. You know, it's surprising for me how enjoyable that game is.
That's great. Yes,
you know, it has some elements there of Battlefield and some of the game modes there. And it's on the same type of engine. I really enjoyed that game. So if you guys have tried a Plants vs Zombies game, or you have it, it doesn't really matter. This is a game you just can kind of pick up and have fun. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's just kind of one of those silly games. I enjoy it. So that would be one of the games that I would pick up. Also, Battlefield Hardline, surprisingly, it got a lot of flack when it came out, but it is fun. I mean, if you can pick this up and play it for a little bit, get it for a good price, this game has some elements in there that will surprise you. Honestly, there's some, you know, game modes in there that you're not going to traditionally find in a traditional Battlefield game, and I think you can have some fun there. As far as Shadow of Mordor was on that list as well, the Game of the Year edition, that goes without explanation. That game is outstanding. I would pick that up. I still need to finish Shadow of War. Yeah. So I need to, you know, it's the backlog. It's never ending, right? You got to keep knocking them off. I think those would be the main games that I would pick up. The Nathan Drake collection was in there as well, right?
Yes, that's a fantastic title.
Awesome. Yeah, pick that up. And yeah, those would be the ones that I would go for on that list.
You know, I got to tell you, right away, if you're a fighting game fan, and I know UK Dazris still wants to whip my ass cowboy style on Mortal Kombat X. There are two titles that jump out here. First of all, Mortal Kombat X is a fantastic game, and I believe in this edition you get all of DLC, which is ridiculous. Aliens, Predators, Jason Voorhees. It's just ridiculous. But I think the standout for me personally is Injustice God Among Us, the Ultimate Edition. The DLC characters alone were a game. The fact that you can use all 4 of the Ninja Turtles in itself is worth the price of admission. Let's not forget Hellboy and all of the DC characters that they added. I think that I love seeing this, and I think that this is once again Sony's marketing marching to the forefront of you know, the industry. And I've said this publicly. I happen to really dig their marketing. I think that is the reason why they crossed 86 million consoles sold. I think it's why it's the most dominant console this generation. But you know what? They have something coming out soon, and I want to get your take on it, Salty, because I think that it's important. The PlayStation Classic is coming out on December 3rd, I believe it is. Yeah. And we information broke yesterday of the complete list of games that are being added. And I have to be honest with you, I understand that these games are going to look dated. I understand that they're probably going to run terrible. But if you're a PlayStation enthusiast, if you're a fan, maybe the PlayStation 4 is your first jump or foray into gaming, and you didn't know about any of where PlayStation came from. I think this is in the same lines as the Nintendo NES Classic and the SNES. Now, obviously, those are 2D 8-bit graphics, so they're going to hold up a little bit better than what what we are used to now with the 3D technology. But I just want to read the list. Okay. First of all, this is the 20 games, and it's been confirmed by the PlayStation blog, which is where I got this information from. It's Battle Arena Toshinden, which is a fantastic fighter. Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII Complete Classic, Grand Theft Auto the Original, which is unbelievable, Intelligent Cube, not so good, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. Now, again, Some of these are probably going to look terrible, but I'm going to be honest with you. I could, in this, even in 2018, still go back and play Metal Gear Solid. Even though it looked terrible, it's a fantastic game. The fact that it's in here still blows my mind. Salty, what is your take on these games? Is this a day one buy for you, or is it a pass?
It's definitely a pass for me. I never was in the PlayStation ecosystem. I was with Nintendo all the way up to the Xbox release. But even if I was, I kind of have to question the game lists that were coming out for this. There's a lot of things that were not included in this game list, and I think the 20 games that are listed here, they could have done better. You know, I don't know how hard it would have been to put 30, 40 games in there. And unfortunately, there's some fan favorites that are not on this list. I've done a couple podcasts and people are just naming game after game after game. And we all know that those are kind of third party games that have to do, like Tomb Raider, for example. You know, it's not owned by PlayStation or whatever, and they have to deal with licensing issues and, you know, the yada, yada, yada. They probably have to pay some money, but that's just the way it goes. You know, when Xbox decided to do backwards compatibility, they had to deal with licensing and all that stuff.
Yep.
So it's just an excuse, in my opinion, to not put those marquee fan favorite games on there like Tomb Raider and some other games. The list goes on, and like I said, these game file sizes are not that big.
Right.
You know, you could put a good amount of games in there, and it doesn't take up that much space, and it doesn't cost that much money. Hard drives are pretty cheap now, so to just put 20 games in there, I think it's pretty lackluster. You don't have a power cord. I think that it's just not enough value, in my opinion. Now, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, as we know, right?
Yes,
so
if
you like these games that are included on this list, there's no one that can tell you, hey, don't buy this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is the way that people enjoy, do it. I'm not going to knock on it. But I think the reason why Nintendo has one up on this situation is the power and the strength of their first party games when it comes to some of these classics that are coming out. The lineup strength when you're looking at the NES Classic, the Super Nintendo Classic, and then even if the Nintendo 64 Classic comes out, they have a stronger first party lineup that's included in those games that they stick in the classic for the consumer that shows better value, in my opinion. That's just what I think. I don't know. We all have different opinions, right? We all have different tastes, so I'm not going to knock it if you guys like it. It's just the way it goes.
No, listen, what you're saying, listen, let's understand this. Not everyone is always going to agree. Just because you know, something comes out on the PlayStation doesn't make it gold. Just because it comes out on the Xbox doesn't make it number one. You know, I mean, but you know, the classic systems are, you know, obviously have become popular since Nintendo brought it back. And you're right, they did it the right way. They went out and they said, okay, we're going to put 30 games. And to be honest with you, those 30 games are phenomenal. And then they come back the next year and they released the Super NES Classic, which is one of my favorites, and they include 21 games. Okay, and you say, wow, it's from 30 to 21. I don't know. But the 20 games that they included were insanely popular. Every one of them I loved. Didn't like, loved. And then the 21st game, OPS, by the way, was Star Fox 2, which was a title never released. So you got a new game on something that came out in the 90s. So, you know, hats off and golf clap, you know, to Nintendo, right? So this collection comes out of nowhere. And listen, the bottom line is this. Sony has been doing very well for themselves. I think that this is going to sell. December 3rd, obviously, is 22 days away from Christmas. This makes the perfect stocking stuffer for your PlayStation enthusiast. Okay, you're probably not going to play more than a few hours of it. You're going to turn it on, you're going to be like, my God, what am my eyes seeing? You're going to shut it off and you're going to go back to play Red Dead Redemption 2. But you know what? It is. You did say it. Mooch should get this, and he should get a nickel every time says it. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I hope he comes out with a T-shirt because he will make money. If he has a coffee mug, I will buy it. But I think that there's something to be said about the classic games. The list, I'm going to be honest with you, there are questionable titles on this list. Some games are extremely forgettable. A game like Siphon Filter, for instance, it is a PlayStation, exclusive. A lot of people have fond memories of it. But they could have did better, I think, than that. The snowboarding game, no one's gonna play it. They could have added Castlevania Symphony of the Night. You know what I'm saying? In its place. Which, by the way, now we know the reason why that's not in there is because they just released an HD collection that included 2 Castlevania games that are exclusive to the PlayStation 4. And I hate to say this, they're getting terrible reviews because the ports were really bad. So, take it with a grain of salt. If you're interested, spend the $100, do a video. I will be interested to see. I actually have it pre-ordered. I'm probably going to get it. Because I like little collectible things like that. It's just who I am. But, I want to move on. I mentioned Red Dead Redemption 2. And after the Digital Foundry basically confirmed that Red Dead Redemption 2 plays in native 4K on the Xbox One X, and the PlayStation 4 Pro is using an upscaled resolution known as checkerboard rendering, some fans are feeling a little let down and misled by commercials that I've witnessed with my own 2 eyes for Red Dead Redemption 2, which, of course, everyone knows they have the marketing rights to. Now, this would be all well and fine if it weren't for the fact that Sony decided to try their luck. And as much as I praise their marketing, and I've said it on this show, I've said it on 20 other shows, everyone knows my stance on it. I really do appreciate and applaud what they have done. Every now and again, Sony decides to take the shortcut. And we all know what happens when you take the shortcut and you go down that spooky hallway, or the alleyway you're not supposed to. You probably get killed, right? Well, the commercial advertising the Red Dead Redemption 2 PlayStation 4 Pro bundle shows a giant, and I mean almost screen-taking giant 4K logo, implying the game plays in 4K resolution on the console. However, just underneath the picture of the package, there's a very fine print, and I mean small, where it says game outputs to 2160p. Now, most people would probably think it logical that the game outputs in said resolution, but this is where they're wrong. It does not run in true 4K native, which is considered native 4K, which it's running on the Xbox One X. And obviously, it plays better. I've seen multiple media sources call it the fake 4K resolution, and that's running at 1920 by 2160 only, which is a far cry from the native size, which is double that. Here's my question to you, Salty. Should PlayStation 4 Pro owners feel lied to by Sony? And is the resurgence of the Xbox One X sales in the last week after Red Dead Redemption 2 was confirmed to be the best place to pay cause and effect for this misleading advertising?
All right, that's a 2-pronged question. And yes, they should feel misled. They should feel salty, per se, because it is mismarketing, and the 4K situation for consumers is not a very understandable situation when it comes to the average consumer. I think that 4K is one of those things that's it's misinterpreted. It's misleading for a lot of companies. They use different terms, false advertisement, whatever you want to say, true 4K, upscaled, checkerboard rendering. All these terms are kind of misleading and confusing for some of the average consumers, even if they have that small print under that big 4K advertisement. They don't know what that is. Like, the majority of consumers know what 1080p is because that was, high def. We're going from standard definition. This is a 1080p TV. They don't have to go into the numbers and crunch them and know what a 4K is or this and that. They just see it on the box. It says 4K. I think it's 4K. I'm going to take it home. I'm going to trust you as, you know, a company that's selling me a product. I see this thing on there. I'm going to take it home and I'm going to play it. It's going to be 4K. They get it home and it doesn't, it's not, it's the proof's not in the pudding, right? They get real mad. And I think that the Digital Foundry analysis just further extended the gap, the performance difference between the two consoles. And it made it clear as day that the Xbox One X is the true place to play that game when it comes to 4K assets and native 4K resolution. The game looks outstanding. So that just compounded the problem, because not only are you advertising 4K on the box, you're seeing all these results out there that, hey, you know, the Xbox One X looks so much better, clearer. 4K assets, like I said. So then your consumer base just gets really, really salty. And this isn't the first time that PlayStation has did, you know, some shady advertisements, some, you know, misleading marketing. They've done that a little bit when it comes to their exclusives as well. You know, they'll say, hey, you know, kind of, hey, this is the only place to play this, when it's not really the only place to play it. And there's kind of small print there. So yes, if I was a PlayStation owner and I see this, you know, fat 4K thing on the box and I get home and it's not, you know, 4K, it would upset me, honestly.
Yeah, it would upset me as well. But I have to do a big thank you and shout out Aiden Williams with the $10 super chat. Obviously, 50% of every dollar that's earned will be going to charity. You know, and someone that does YouTube, like yourself, and you do have 2,500 subs. Congratulations on that. That's a big deal, Salty. Yep. I have to wait for YouTube to do their final number crunch, which will be probably the second week of November. And as soon as I get the official number, I will post it from my AdSense account. So, because I want to be transparent with this, I want people to know, you know, that this is the real deal. It's important to me, and I know that I've been told by many people, you don't have to do that, Boom. You don't have to do that. I have to do that. I have to do that because I want people to know that if it says $700, we're going to donate more than 50%. I'm probably going to give 400 of that 7 to this charity. I know I don't have to do it, folks, but it's important to me. And then once I get the receipt for the actual transaction, I will be posting that on my Twitter account so everyone could take a picture and see that it's legit. Yes, sir.
I know that you don't have to do that, but we live in a day and age where there's a lot of people out there that, you know, preach one thing and do another. And we know that that's not you, but it's good for people to see, you know, the results of them donating. So I think that's a very good thing that you're doing. So.
I really appreciate that. And I've been, you know, I have to just say this, and I will get back into gaming in a sec. I'm not going to say people's particular names because they talk to me in confidence, but in the last 2 weeks, I have received at least 20 DMs from people who are praising me for doing this, and I don't want any praise. I had my pop passed away from cancer, Josie's mom, and we're doing it because it means something to us. But they told me stories of how their families are dealing with it. So don't praise me. I praise you for having the confidence in me as a YouTuber, someone that has a very small voice. And you're telling me your personal stories. It does mean a lot to me, and I want to thank you for that.
Real quick, I don't know if everybody's heard this because this is the first episode on Boom's channel, but like I said before, you're hard pressed to find someone out there in today's day and age that hasn't been affected by cancer, known someone, a friend, a family member, all that stuff. My mom has had breast cancer 3 times. She survived it 3 times.
Wow.
She's a survivor. She's a fighter. She's my ultimate example. So yes, this hits home for a lot of people. It's a great cause, and I applaud you, my friend, for doing this.
Well, thank you. I do super appreciate that. And 2 big shout outs. Shunsu Elite with the $10 super chat. He says, happy Halloween, guys. Thank you so much for that. And Cake Batter with the $10 super chat. Thank you once again. Your generosity is unbelievable. He says the PS4 is a 2K console since most of its games max out at 2K 1440p. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I'm going to say this. Sony duped me numerous times with the Pro because I've owned 3. I had the original launch, I had the White Destiny, and I have the God of War. So they got me. They got their money in me. But you know what? I want to continue on with this because here's the thing. And I said this before, as great as their marketing is, this is a prime example of mismarketing at its finest. And seeing the big 4K logo on these commercials, and then seeing that because I didn't see the fine print. I wear glasses, P.S. by the way, and I had to actually pause it to be like, okay, what is it that they're saying? And I saw that, and you know, it's sad because the thing is this: we buy consoles on a generational schedule, right? When a new console comes out, we're gamers. At the end of the day, regardless of what flag you fly, I don't care whether it's blue, emerald, green, or bright red for the Switch, or someone like me who supports them all because, quite frankly, I just love gaming. I don't like seeing this. I think that this is it leaves a nasty taste in the in the people's mouths that look towards Sony as being the elite company. Now they're the elite company for sales. They're not always the elite company when it comes to telling the truth. And this is a bad deal. And I'm going to ask you this. I know it was a two-pronged question. I'm on Twitter every day. I'm probably on Twitter more than most people that are in the chat because I actually love talking to gamers. I love answering DMs. I love reading the news. There are a lot of people on Twitter who post some really awesome things. But I'm going to say the one thing I have noticed, Salty, is the resurgence of Xbox One X sales. I mean, everyone, and I mean everyone, is posting pictures with their new X and their copy of Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you think that this game could push them? I know it's highly unlikely, but I'm going to say it anyway. Could the Red Dead Redemption phenomenon that we're seeing push the Xbox One X to actually win an MPD?
All right, here's the deal. Let's take it back to the announcement of the Xbox One X, right? At a $500 price point, it was leaked, right? The $500 price point was leaked, and everybody said, "Oh my God, this is too much!" Right? $500, it's $100 more than what gamers are willing to pay. Fast forward it to the present. Well, apparently, gamers will pay for what they find is worth their money, right?
Yes.
The proof is in the pudding. This is the most popular game right now. It is shattering records when it comes to sales numbers, entertainment records. We're talking about movie, music, anything. Almost $800 million in a 3-day weekend. Insane, folks. So this is the most popular game. The best place to play this is the Xbox One X, and that's going to be for the foreseeable future, at least a year, right? So you have that year for people that are thinking about buying this game, have to take it into consideration. Hey, I want to play this on the best place. And then they have these deals going on where you can trade in a console and get $200 off, or you buy Red Dead Redemption, you get this. So, you can pick up an X right now if you do it right and get it for like $200. Like, it's a steal, man. Right. I mean, everything, it's a perfect storm for this system. And honestly, I think it's amazing, right? Because we're talking about when you look at MPD, even before Red Dead dropped, right? The Xbox One X was actually leading when it comes to money, like sales wise, money.
That's
right?
Correct.
Units sold. It's still the S, but I think in this holiday season with these, the bundles and with the deals going on, I think the X might actually be the unit leader, the unit sales leader, with especially what's going on with Red Dead Redemption. And if that happens, I think that might motivate Microsoft to put the Xbox One X at the forefront, right? Like, because usually you have the cheaper system that usually sells well, right?
Yes.
It's the most selling console because people want a cost-effective option. But if you have the Xbox One X, which is extremely well made, right? One of the best systems I've ever owned. If you can have that outsell and outpace the Xbox One S that's cheaper, Microsoft has to go to the table and say, hey, look, folks, this might be our main console going forward and not too foreseeable future. So I think that's pretty interesting because a lot of people out there said power doesn't matter. But obviously, I think gamers, some gamers do enjoy a powerful system that can output native 4K and all that good stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. Listen, I love the fact that, look, here's the thing. Plenty of Xbox gamers, the 360 community, went over to the PlayStation 4. Why, Salty? Power, right? They had the power. Sony was playing in 1080p when Microsoft was playing in 900p, right? So P's mattered back then. Well, guess what, folks? P's matter now. And I love the fact that there's possibly going to be PlayStation gamers, not for a effing plastic war nonsense. The fact that they're going to go out and buy an X to experience a game where it's the best place to play, I say good on them. It's good for the industry. It's good for the communities. It's good for the people involved. Now you can play, you can be a multi-console owner and not have to choose sides, right? I mean, I think that's at the end of the day the most important part. But real quick before the next topic, the Blue One with the $10 super chat, dude. I cannot thank you enough for that. And right now, I'm gonna pick the first winner. All you have to do on Twitter is the hashtag is going to be cancer sucks in caps. Hashtag cancer sucks. You put that in Twitter. You tweet it out. And I'm going to, and in a few minutes, I'm going to give people to kind of, do that. I don't want to, pick this the first person that does it. And I'm going to pick my first $25 Xbox Live gift card winner. We're going to move on to the next topic first, though. A report came out of PAX Australia over the weekend, and it's pretty interesting. Fallout 76 is not coming to the Nintendo Switch. And this is what Pete Hines from Bethesda had to say about it. Bethesda marketing executive Pete Hines has confirmed that Fallout 76 will not be coming to the Nintendo Switch because it simply wasn't doable. Although we've seen a handful of Bethesda products such as Doom, Skyrim, and of course Wolfenstein: The New Colossus show up on that console, it just does not have enough power. So I just want to read some of his quotes because they're pretty interesting. Pete Hines says, "The Switch is something I can say that with certainty that is a part of every conversation with every dev we now have. Unfortunately, Fallout 76 will not be coming because it just wasn't doable. But honestly, there's no game in development that we haven't had a conversation about bringing to the Switch. Does this work on the Switch? Do we have a plan for the Switch? It's not a mandate, but everything that they do has led to possibly releasing games on the Switch because they want to support that platform." It says here also that I enjoy us being seen as the third-party leader in terms of support for the Switch, he said. People go, hey, you've got a lot more stuff on the Switch than this publisher or that publisher. That's what I want Bethesda to be known for. Salty, obviously the Switch is a fantastic system. Your kids play it. Yep. Your wife plays it. You've played it. I have one. I play with my nephew every time he stays over. We have a blast. But the problem is that it's what we'd expect with Nintendo. This is unfortunately not as powerful as the current big consoles. You can consider it a vanilla PS4 or a vanilla Xbox One, but it's not anywhere near an Xbox One X or a Pro. And I think that until Nintendo addresses this is going to be the unfortunate situation moving forward. Do you think that they need to come out with a more powerful Switch to take advantage of all these third-party companies that actually want to put games on their console?
All right. So I was actually watching a podcast last night, and they were talking about the Nintendo 64 and some other classic consoles. And I remember the third-party support on the 64. There's a lot of titles on there like Madden and all these other. There's just a lot of support there, and Nintendo is trying to get back there with the support. And I think it's great that Bethesda is at the forefront there because honestly, when they announced that Doom was going to be on the Switch, I was just like, wow. wow, like, is this console going to be running it at a necessary power to be able to, you know, output something that would be acceptable for gamers? And they did that. And I actually thought it was witchcraft. I was like, dang, this console is not that powerful. But, you know, we see titles like Wolfenstein. I think the next Wolfenstein is going to come out there. But there's just certain games that are they need too many resources that the Switch doesn't have. And I had a conversation, I think it was on Nintendo Direct's podcast with some Nintendo people, and they're like, "Oh, you know, there's all this cloud stuff going on, and you never know what you know, kind of they can help the Switch's power deficiency through the cloud." And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I mean, it's just not going to happen this gen, and then. It's a tricky situation because the Nintendo Switch is built on the hybrid nature of that console, not necessarily the power. So I don't see that, like, Nintendo going back to the drawing board just because there's certain titles that they can't support. Like this title, for example, like Fallout 76 is a huge open world game that just can't run on that system. And I thought it was going to be more titles that couldn't, you know, necessarily run on the Switch. But I think if it becomes more and more of an issue, like there's extremely popular game, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2 is never going to come on you know, the Switch and stuff like that. But I think Nintendo Switch owners are okay to a certain extent to not have all third-party support. I think if they have enough third-party support, it'll be sufficient to them, because the proof's in the pudding. They support their first party. They support Nintendo, and I think as long as you know, the first party titles are there, I think they'll be happy, if that makes sense. So.
No, I mean, that actually makes perfect sense. I want to announce the winner. The first winner is AA Ron on Twitter. He's at DBLA43. He is the first winner of the $25 gift card. There are 3 more that I'm going to be raffling off in the next, you know, before the show ends. Congratulations, dude. I'm glad that you won. I hope that you are fans of both Salty and I. Hit me up in the DM just to say hi, and I will send that code out as soon as the show is finished. Real quick, keeping with Nintendo, and a story that I pulled from comicbook.com, and I'm not going to go too much into it. It says here, a new Nintendo Switch model could be coming in 2019 if Nintendo wants bigger and more graphically intense games coming to the platform. It would be beneficial for the company to try and release an updated piece of hardware. And like you were just saying, you know, you and me both were very shocked when we seen Wolfenstein and Doom running on the Switch, and quite frankly, it looked phenomenal. Okay, it's not going to be running in 4K like on the X, but for a game that graphically intense to run and look that well, I was definitely surprised. But you know what? Let's hope that they're aware of you know, the situation that, you know, games are going to unfortunately have to be held back until they can figure out their power situation or release an updated model. But also, keeping with Nintendo, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Nintendo's YouTube channel, they're going to be doing a 40-minute Super Smash Brothers Ultimate event. Apparently, new characters are going to be added to the roster live on the air. 2 characters that come into mind immediately. Salty, we spoke about this last week. I'm going to talk about it again because I'm such a big fan. Banjo and Kazooie are supposed to be added to the roster. I don't know if anyone from Microsoft or Rare are going to be there, but I think it is a big deal. If you are a Nintendo fan, if you are a Switch fan, if you are a Smash Brothers fan, like I know that Nintendo Direct is, he's probably going to do something live on his channel. He's also a good friend of yours. He's a fantastic friend of mine. I'm interested to, I mean, what do you think about this spring of the moment, you know, Nintendo event that they're going to have, Salty?
Oh man, I can't wait for this game. Honestly, this is one of those games that you can play with your buddies, and I just have fond memories of playing Smash Brothers on my 64. I keep going back to that console because it's like my favorite. But I think this announcement and the fact that they're having the direct, it just shows how important this game is to the Nintendo system and how much excitement there is for the fan base. I remember when Smash was announced. There was people crying and like it was crazy, man.
Yeah, it was.
People love this game and Banjo Kazooie, man. I think that's going to be if that comes to fruition. I think people will lose their minds because people have been asking for that on both sides for a while, you know. And I think for a long time before the crossplay situation was hashed out between Nintendo and Xbox, that probably felt like it would be impossible for that to happen because of, you know, Xbox owning the rights there. But now that they have that bridge formed and you know, the partnership there, I think that it'll be a good thing going forward because the more and more partnerships that Nintendo Xbox have, the more things they start doing when it comes to I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I think that's good for gamers, honestly. Like a lot of people go into this console war stuff and like, hey, we need to have exclusive this and I need to have exclusive that, and you don't have that on your system and I have this on mine. I just like to play games, honestly. Like if you could put you know, Banjo Kazooie and Smash Brothers, do it. I mean, if you can work deals out that help gamers out to experience new things that they probably wouldn't have done before, I'm all for that because in the end, I just think it's just fun to see that. And I think Banjo Kazooie would be an amazing character to have in that game. Just the amount of moves that they could do and stuff. I'd love to see that. But yeah, the fact that they're having a direct that's, you know, focused on this game is going to sell like hotcakes, dude. You know,
It's look. I know that Rockstar broke a lot of records this weekend. You talked about it, and there's no doubt in my mind that it's probably never going to be touched. But I'm going to say this: Smash Brothers is such a revered franchise that I think, and I'm not saying it's going to beat it, folks. Here, this is just a guesstimated number I'm picking out of my hat. I would not be surprised that Nintendo does not come close. They may not sell 10 million copies in 3 days like Red Dead Redemption 2, because obviously your two biggest markets are, of course, the PlayStation Nation as well as the Xbox, gamers. But I think that they could sell 5 to 7 million copies in a 3-day span. Smash Brothers is the real deal, and I'm really looking forward to this. Real quick, I'm just gonna make an announcement. Tweet out, go hashtag in all caps, Salty and Boom. Spell that out, Salty and Boom, for the second hashtag to pick the next winner of the $25 gift card that I'm giving out. I want to go into the next topic while people do that. Bully 2 is been spoken about for what seems like since Bully 1. And apparently Rockstar's next game after Red Dead Redemption 2 and before Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be Bully 2. A new report suggests that the first Bully is not only a fan favorite, but considered a cult classic from the PlayStation 2 era. And according to several reports, Bully 2 might be Rockstar's next big title for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. While the famous Rockstar studio are currently finishing, you know, and just getting excited from the launch, because they knew it was going to be a big game. I don't think anyone at 2K or at Rockstar thought that they were going to make $725 million in 3 days. Internet sleuths have found evidence that suggests Rockstar may be in the middle of development for a Bully sequel. This stems from reports regarding casting calls being made for a new AAA game, and this is what it had to say. Request for a new unannounced video game title with a leading UK games developer shooting at Pinewood Studios have been making the rounds, and they have been linked to a new Bully game, a follow-up to the PS2 hit, which obviously has become a cult classic. The casting calls are reportedly looking for people to fill young roles, none of which have been given full character names. Details of those roles include mild violence and profanity will be used in scenes with young performers. The project itself is a thriller slash drama, and all scenes with the young performer will be handled with sensitivity. Salty, is this the right move for Rockstar? And do you think that the world is ready for a Bully 2?
Okay, so first of all, I didn't own a PlayStation 2, so I did not buy this game, but I do know it has a cult following and I do know how popular it was. So first of all, I do have full confidence in Rockstar's ability to judge and gauge their audience. Obviously, with this whole Red Dead situation, it's blowing up, it's breaking records. So if they deem this game, worthy of another game, I trust in their ability to bring that to the forefront. The only thing that I question is this day and age is a little bit different than the scenery of yesteryear, right? There's a lot of different things going on, so they'd have to handle it with care. But that famous Pinewood Studios that you're talking about, lots of people, they film movies there and stuff like that. So I love hearing about Pinewood Studios. But yeah, I think this would be awesome for Rockstar to focus on in between Red Dead and, the next GTA. Because I don't know, the GTA game is I think it's still a little ways out because it's still making money, right? It's still top 10 in the charts.
It's making so much money, dude.
Yeah. So they don't really need to focus on a GTA per se. So I think that, they focus on this kind of a game, get that out, and then work on GTA, or maybe even do it at the same time because they're big enough to do that. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say this. Red Dead Redemption 2, if you're not in the know, took 8 years to make with numerous delays. And obviously, I don't know about how much you're playing of it. I literally can't stop. I am well past the 24-hour mark. I just keep doing mission after mission. I have not lost a horse yet, which I'm very proud of. Bucky still standing strong, even though I've run into a tree 1 or 2 times. I thought I killed him. I would have been devastated. But I did a tweet the other day, and it actually got real cool traction. So a real thank you to the community, the Twitter community, for coming out. I asked if what'd you name your horse, and people responded in droves, which I thought was really fun for the community. Obviously, I said my horse's name is Bucky, and I had some really cool ones that I saw. But you know what? Before getting into the next topic, I want to announce the next winner, and it is Dreadpool. Well, congratulations, dude. Dreadpool is always in the chat. He is one of the finer community members, always supporting everyone. So congratulations. Send me a DM that says, "Hey, Boom," and I will send you the code after the show. I want to move on to the next topic, Salty. Diablo 4 news, rumors, and latest details. And this is very interesting because, Mrs. BoomStick, and you know her as Josette, my wife, she is a huge Diablo fan. We started playing games, that asymmetric top-down game back in the PlayStation 2 era, where we played through Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which we loved. And this is a throwback to a lot of people, whether you know it or not. Champions of Norath, 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 2. They are, really classic top-down Diablo style games. We would play on a weekend. We would literally sit on the couch for the entire from Friday night to Sunday night playing. We loved it. So obviously, when the version of Diablo 3 finally came to the console, we wrecked it, and we started playing obviously on the Xbox One version, and we wrecked that one as well. So she's excited for Diablo 4. I'm stoked for it. But in anticipation regarding Blizzard's next foray into the Diablo franchise is once again growing, and for good reason. A ton of purported leaks and rumors have spread online recently, each claiming to have insider information regarding a prospective Diablo 4. One of which says that Diablo 4 is a Witcher-esque style single-player title. I hope not. and the other is the obviously isometric MMO, and that neither of these have been confirmed. Sadly, no leak has been corroborated with any of the insiders, so take this with a complete grain of salt, even though Salty's on the show. What's certain is Blizzard is working on multiple Diablo projects, and that is confirmed. In an article of The Future of Diablo, it was a video that was released 2 months ago. At least one of those projects is a major AAA Diablo project, and judging from the constant inflow and high-profile job openings at Blizzard, you can expect that they may be working on multiple Diablos. And what's more interesting, Salty, is that all signs point to BlizzCon 2018, which is coming up very soon. And obviously, at BlizzCon, you're going to get some major announcements. First of all, BlizzCon happens on November 2nd. So it starts on, I believe, on Friday, and it goes over the weekend. I'm stoked to see what new information we're going to get. First and foremost, Salty, are you a fan of the Diablo series, and does this new possible Diablo 4 information get you excited?
I am a big fan of the Diablo series. I played Diablo 2 on the PC, and I played Diablo 3 on Xbox 360. I bought it on Xbox One, and I'm about to buy it on the Nintendo Switch. So that just tells you where I'm at with the game. I love it. First of all, if you guys didn't know, it runs outstanding on the Nintendo Switch. The fact that they brought that game over and it looks like that, you get all the characters. I think Ganondorf's in there too.
Ganondorf is an exclusive. Come on, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah. And then you get all the content, and you get it on the go. Like I was saying, I could go to the bathroom and play Diablo 3. What kind of age are we living in? You know what I'm saying?
I love
it.
Like
this is the future, folks. So it's amazing. I think that, obviously Blizzard knows what they're doing. They have an outstanding franchise here, and if they're working on multiple projects, I think that they can do that. When you were mentioning that first person, or not first person, but like third person Witcher styles, single player, I kind of cringed at it, because I'm like, I don't want them to go away with like what's working. It's like, if it's not broken, don't fix it, kind of a thing. But if they're working on multiple projects, so if they do Diablo 4, which they are obviously, and they improve upon that model and make it next gen and do some new things with that, and then they do some like other things with the franchise, I would be totally on board with that, to try to explore new things and new ways of seeing that lore and that franchise go off into a different direction, because I think that's exactly what Microsoft needs to do with some of their big franchises, is just take risks and branch off. You know what I'm saying? So use your properties. You got them, use them. Gamers want to just play what you have, so that's good.
Yeah, listen, dude, I'm going to say this. I've purchased Diablo 3 on the PlayStation 4. I purchased it on the Xbox One. I'm probably going to pick it up for the Switch. The fact that you have exclusive characters on there like Ganondorf, and who else, for all they could add a Link or something. You know what I'm saying? So, or Princess Zelda possibly. I think that would be dope. I'm very interested to see how they continue to support that game on the Switch, but I'm more excited to see what they're going to do for Diablo 4. I think the game is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's going to take advantage of the current gen hardware, which I think is something that it doesn't necessarily need to do per se, because obviously it's that top-down look. And you don't really need to have massive graphics, but you need to be able to have 50 characters on the screen without it slowing down. And I think they're going to be able to do that. I want to announce the winner of the third $25 card. It is Hyena Den XBL. Congratulations, dude. He's another one that is always in the chat, always on Twitter. So I'm very happy. And I'll be picking the last one in a second. And I want to go to the last topic of today's show. And that is the new PUBG Xbox One X graphics and performance rendering modes that are going to arrive early in November. This has been confirmed by Bluehole. But here's my question, Salty, and before you give me your answer, I just want to read the story. Is it too late for PUBG based on what Call of Duty is doing? And before you give me the answer, I just want to read what they had to say and what they're adding. New PUBG Xbox One X graphics and performance rendering modes will be arriving early next month. And this is the list of what they're doing. Here is what changes are coming in November, and what they're considering the November update. Custom match, player care package system, a new system to grant rewards for in-game events, supply system, which is a new system to grant rewards for completing missions and objectives. There's something called the Scorpion, which I believe is a new vehicle. Graphical setting options. These options for those who prefer better graphics and those who prefer better performance and don't mind sacrificing some graphical quality. The next one is region renewal, and that's going to include the server region is dedicated automatically depending on the player's local region. If your group with a bunch of players from another region, matchmaking will automatically decide the best region to play on, which is pretty cool. A ranked system and the FPP FOV improvements. Now, here's my question again, Salty, because that was a lot. I don't play PUBG, but Battle Royale is just not my thing. Okay. I think everyone knows that. But I'm going to be honest. When Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is on sale, and I can get it for like $30, I'm probably going to buy it for Blackout. It looks like it's a really fun time. But aside from Call of Duty, with these changes coming in so late in the game and Call of Duty just tearing sales, do you think that it's too late for PUBG to make a dent?
All right. So I have a lot to say on this topic. I'm first and foremost a first-person shooter type gamer, okay?
Right.
That's what I've always been about. And actually, I played Blackout last night with Titan Drago. We got so close on like 3 different games, finished second. It was so frustrating. But anyway, playing Blackout has opened my eyes about how crappy PUBG is and how underperforming and mismanaged that development team has handled this game. They made so much money off of this game and they've invested so little. And then now all of a sudden they're just scrambling. It's like in the Avengers movie when Thanos snapped his finger, right? Everybody starts fading out, right? And then Spider-Man's that last one to hold on. And he doesn't want to fade out, and he's the last one to fade out, and finally he fades out. That's Bluehole in PUBG, right? They're just holding on. They're like, oh, we're sorry, we didn't mean to, waste our time. We're gonna put all these cosmetics in. We're gonna change the regions. We're gonna put performance mode in. It's like, you guys should have done this a year ago. Right. Like, why is this taking so long? Like, you guys have the money, you have the resources, you should have hired more people, more experienced people, because if you gave a damn and you cared about your gamers, you would have made this game run well and had the content for the gamers. But the plain and simple truth of it is they were investing their money in other places like mobile, trying to get PUBG on mobile, trying to get more money, So at a certain point in time, we can't excuse PUBG anymore just because it's on Xbox first. I've heard that a lot, right? I picked up PUBG because it was on Xbox, blah, 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 blah. Well, who cares anymore? I mean, Blackout does what PUBG does, but 1,000 times better. Like, there's some issues there. Like, me and Drago were actually talking about tick rate. I don't know if you guys know about that, and I won't get into that. Maybe we'll get into that on my podcast tomorrow, but that has to do with, net code and the way games run. PUBG actually has a higher tick rate, and the game runs like crap. The frame rate has been horrible. The textures look like N64 textures. The game is bad, dude. Like, honestly, me and Titan Drago go up to this rock, right? It looks like a cheese, like a piece of cheese in a 64 game, right? On Banjo-Kazooie, right? It's crazy. Dude. It's crazy. Crazy. So the fact that they're barely getting a performance mode in there, who needs 4K in PUBG to see these N64 textures in 4K. Put it at 1080 60 and have the frame rate for the shooting enthusiasts out there.
I absolutely agree.
Everybody
Yes.
needs that frame rate over 4K to see these bad textures. I mean, and it's taken them this long. Like, insane, guys. I mean, let's just pour one out for PUBG. It's dying a slow death. I mean, let's just put it where it is. We're gonna have more battle royales come out that will do this. We'll have Battlefield eventually get theirs out, and Fortnite's doing its thing. I'm telling you, man, if you haven't played Blackout, check it out, man. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, my problem with and you made mention of it. It seems as if their focus in trying to get one thing running on something else instead of fixing, for instance, because like here you go, PUBG started its life on PC, right? And surprisingly enough, it came to the Xbox, and they had an exclusive because obviously Microsoft is one of the only of the three major console manufacturers that have a preview program very similar to what they have on a PC. And so obviously it's sold like hotcakes. And I bought a copy. You know why I bought a copy? Because I wanted to see what it was all about. Maybe I would get into it. I played it, and it did look like an N64 game. And I just was like, you know what? This is just not my thing. Not just for the graphics, because Battle Royale, to be honest, is just not my bag, baby. Right? So that's fine. But I supported the company, and millions and millions of other people have. And you made a really good point. And I really want to, before we close out the show and I give the last winner, instead of trying to get it on mobile, they really should have focused on the two versions that were there. Continue supporting your PC, because obviously it's sold like hotcakes there, and fix the problems on Xbox. And what's sad is that Microsoft sent people to help them, and it still wasn't enough. And I really do think that this when they downgraded it last month, that obviously took off. Everyone was talking about it. Every show, your show, my show, dealer's show, everyone that had a show was talking about the downgrade, so they can do these performance enhancement in regards to frame rate and graphics. And I just think that after seeing what Call of Duty, now granted, I love Call of Duty for single player. I don't play it for multiplayer. That's why I did not buy it at full boat for Black Ops 4. And I'll get it on sale, because really Blackout looks like it's a lot of fun. Everyone's playing it. You've played it. I know that even like a guy like Crap Gamer is playing it, and he's enjoying it. Mooch plays it nonstop. It's one of those games you pick up for 20 minutes, you put down, you go back to Red Dead. And I think that's cool. But I really think that not only are sales going to tank, and I mean really, like, we're talking stock market crashing, tanking. I just don't think the player base is going to be there. And I do think that this the resurgence of Black Ops 4 and obviously Fortnite and whoever else is going to release a battle royale mode, I think PUBG is done. But real quick before we close out the show and we do outros, the last winner, Crazy Greek Dude, with the awesome. The big win for the $25 gift card. Hit me up in the DM, say hi. And like I said, as soon as the show is done, I'll be sending out those codes. Congratulations to all 4 winners. I hope that it helps. I know that, we're going to be running into the holiday season, and, you got to buy gifts for your loved ones. So every dollar counts. So $25 gift card to Xbox Live should help you buy something, hopefully. And once again, congratulations on all the winners. I just want to say a big thank you. I started this, breast cancer awareness journey on the 1st of October. It has been 31 days across 9 shows, 8 of which I gave, cancer information for both men and women. I was very proud that I was able to, put up these articles and read them, and people actually found them interesting. But Salty, today's show was great, but I think that the lunchtime show that we're doing is going to be big. I want to, I'm really happy that we finally collaborated and that we're doing something together. You and I have talked privately that we wanted to do this. So thank you for accepting and, I'm glad that the people are enjoying the show, because I know that the first show got great feedback. Hopefully today's show gets even better feedback, and next week when it's going to be on your channel, we break records. Please, real quick, and I've been scolded by the famous Mooch to please hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And I say this, and I don't say it as a joke. If what we're saying offends you and you did not like today's show, I encourage you to hit the thumbs down button. I really do, because what that does for me is it tells me that I failed as a host and that I need to do better. So if you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. I won't be offended. I take criticism very seriously. Like I tweeted the other day, I spent 4 hours Sunday night till almost 2 o'clock in the morning preparing for this week's shows. So I do put a lot of work into this. But Salty, listen, your channel rocks, dude. You crossed a milestone, 2,500 subs. That is a huge deal. You've been doing the YouTube thing just a little bit longer than me. Yep. I love your videos. I really dig your Saltiest podcast. I think that the guys you have on there are very special people within the community. And I'm glad that we've become more than friends. I can proudly say that you are a brother to me. Tell everyone where they could find your channel and where they should sub and follow you on Twitter.
All right. It was a blast, guys. First of all, I'm not shy about it. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and then hit the bell icon so you know when Boom goes live in the future. This is an awesome show. Make sure you share it to your friends, your family, the people you meet on the street, all that good stuff. People need to know about this show. This is a different show that we're doing. Not a lot of shows are in the afternoon. You're at work, you get to listen to something, or wherever you are, man. You get to pop the show on. You can listen on it, on demand. It's amazing. Technology is awesome. I love doing it. I love talking to you guys. Actually, you got to pay the bills, I think, right? You got 2 super chats.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm so sorry. I was just, yes. Oh, wow. I got to do that real quick. Wow. Right. Okay. Yeah, let me do that real quick. Dreadpool with the $25 super chat. Dude, that is pretty awesome of you. And makes me feel even better that you won today. And a $20 super chat from Aiden Williams. I believe that's his second one. Thank you so much for that. That is very generous of you. That is super kind. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, every dollar, 50% of that goes to charity for the month of October. So thank you once again. And Salty, please continue.
All right, we're close to 70 likes, folks. Make sure you hit that like button. If you guys want to donate, make sure to do that before we get out of here. It's your last chance. But anyway, you guys can find me tomorrow because tonight is Halloween, All Hallows Eve. So happy Halloween to everybody. I'll be taking my kid out to go enjoy the trick-or-treating festivities. So hopefully she gets a lot of candy so I could steal some of it. You know what I'm saying? You can find me tomorrow with my crew on the Saltiest Gaming Podcast, my channel. As Boom said, this show will be on my channel next week. We're going to rotate every week, so make sure you check me out. Saltiest Gaming, 2 words. That's it. You guys have a great Halloween. Be safe and eat a lot of candy.
Yes, thanks again for everyone tuning in. Next week at 12 p.m., which is lunchtime, we'll be on Salty's channel talking the hottest and newest gaming news. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., I will be hosting or co-hosting with the Welsh Gamer on the Xbox Factor podcast. And Friday morning, I will be back to my old antics on the Breakfast with Boom. I will be making an announcement. The panel is going to be unbelievable, and Titan Drago is one of those members, so it's going to be an amazing show. Thanks for tuning in today. And real quick, the Indie Gamer with the $3 super chat, I really do appreciate that very much. Thank you. Have a fantastic day. Be safe. Check your kids' candies before you let them eat, because there are some sickos out there. And if you're gonna go out to parties, remember, folks, don't drink and drive. Take a Uber or a cab home. Have a great night. Thanks again for everyone that tuned in. Have a great day.